Good morning. Let's continue where we left on the yesterday. But before continuing on, I just thank you to OBS Studio for recovering the first part of my recording in yesterday. Actually, when I started to record the second part, I found out that actually my computer just gave me a blue screen between first part recording and second part recording, and it depends on the blue screen. I thought that my recording for the first part is not recoverable. However, thanks to OBS Studio, it just recovers the first part of my recording, and yes, you can see the first part and second part all together in my previous video of the yesterday. And today I wanted to continue on developing the same game again early in the morning. However, since today did not I did not sleep much. I do not have too many time as yesterday, because today I wake up late than I hope. So today's video will be around 45 minutes, I guess. And let's just dive into the game development section is in here. Yesterday I just make some to-do notes for me for today, and for the notes about today, the first thing is that actually yesterday I've been working on the chapter 4 section, the racing section, and the racing section needs to have some timer, have some heat meter that I called, and when the cell underneath the player collects any nutrients, the heat meter just goes up, as a car, and when the player component when the player collects the nutrient on the track, it gives the player a boost about the speed, and the player will then manage to overcome the opponent. And with this boost, however, this boost will have another effect of the cell, which consists of the heating of the cell. And if the heat meter goes too high, I will just apply a penalty, a short penalty for the player, in order to reduce the effect of the heating. And this is in this section I just try to teach the kids that nutrients inside the cells creates heat while digesting. So let's go and continue our journey. And the first thing is that after collecting nutrients, heat method should be updated. I just entered an on trigger enter in here, on trigger enter method in here, as you can see, and this on trigger enter method calls when the cell collects a nutrients along the way. After collecting nutrients, heat method should be updated. So let's continue is in here. Collecting. In order to update my heat meter, first thing first, my care card phrase method should be aware of the heat meters. So let's just open a meter. And if this is meter. Okay, the script I added is just goes and adds a reference to my heat meter. And when I call the onTrigger enter in here, if the other method has a tag of nutrient, it just checks for my heat meter, and if it's null, it goes and finds the heat meter within the scene. If it's not null, it continues to here and find my heat meter and add slider values. The heat meter add slider value method will update my slider value with the amounts I added inside the text. This is an easy solution and it should just work. So let's go to my chapter 4 section. Okay, something is wrong, something is broken. Let's retry it. New game, go to my save manager. Okay, my heat meter appears on top, but the value is not correct. It just shows 100%. Oh, I forgot this timer slider in here. Remove this component since I will not need that in my chapter 4. Okay, I managed to collect. What is this debug log is called from? Let's just comment this out. Okay, where are the nutrients are gone? So that's the difference between my save files. Let's just remove this guy in here and keep this save file as chapter 4. I collected my nutrients, however, the heat meter is not updated because I did not put any collect nutrient at amounts in here. Let's just enter the value. Still not working. Okay, my heat meter is insists of. Oh, actually it's working. 8%, 7%, 9%. Yes, it's working. I just needed to set this is value dropping boolean to true when the chapter starts, and when the chapter is called, it's in here there is a method called start race. This is my start race method. It goes and found out my character movement chapter 4, and it sets the race has started. Boolean also goes to the opponent and sets the race has started in here also. Okay, let's just go and set my heat meter over here. Heat meter goes through. Set value dropping to true. In addition to this, I want my slider value to be 0 at the beginning of the race, because my the cell should not have any heat, any overheating at the beginning of the race. And 30, 50. Oh, it started to heat. Maybe I can set the dropping. The cooldown period can be faster. This is my heat meter with the cooldown faster. starts at the beginning of the race, and in addition to this, maybe an animation would be fine, but that's for the later. Let's just put the logic and get the positive level and negative level currently, and focus on the basic processes right now. Let's go and continue from the next section. After collecting a heat meter should be updated. This is done. Let's remove this one. If the heat meter slider value equals to 1, penalty should be applied. Okay, what should be the penalty? What should be the penalty? Actually, I wrote down in here penalty applied. Penalty applied boolean I had here, and penalty correction as in here, and apply penalty duration. This applies my apply penalty with duration. This just disables the movement. How about instead of disabling the movement, just slowing the top speed, the current speed of the character, or just continue with the disabling movements. This is too much penalty for the kids. No, let's just continue with this one. Apply penalty duration. Apply penalty. What was I had 3? If the player, the opponent, is crashes with the player will have a penalty of 3 seconds. I applied it in here. Okay, how about if slider value equals 1, and do I have any reference for the player? No. Let's just add a reference for the player also. Type character movement chapter 4 and include. If this is null, then apply penalty with duration, let's say 3 seconds. This 100% bothers me, so how about changing it at the beginning. Heat meter, and let's begin the race. Maybe a string above the heat meter is, or below the heat meter will be a better thing to do, but let's just do this. Okay, when I collect the nutrients, the vehicle has some. Oh yes, it applied penalty. Let's try. Penalty of 3 seconds. Penalty of 3 seconds, and what should be the best way to do it? Actually, the penalty should be applied till the heat meters goes all the way down the. When the penalty applied, the drop value, the drop amount should be faster. Also, penalty applied. Can I just kill the penalty applied? Float duration, set disable moment, yield return, you wait 4 seconds when the penalty applied is false in here. When the penalty is applied, I needed to show talking ball and talking text about the player. If the heat meter equals to 1, player penalty should be applied. Player penalty should be applied, and when the penalty is finished, penalty duration is finished, I just needed to be sure that my slider value is equals to 0, just like resetting the button for the player. So I need let's just call an IE numerator in here after penalty applied. A callback function would be better, but this is the easier solution that came to my mind, so I will just stick with this one. Float duration. Score written after penalty applied, and enter the same amount of time in here, even if the slider value is not 0. Right now both of these enumerators, both of these coroutines will run for only 3 seconds, and after 3 seconds, when the penalty is finished, finalized for the character movements, it just it just resets the heat meter back to 0, and in results of this, player can see that the penalty period is finished on the top side of the screen. Let's keep a comment for the future for the float penalty duration equals 3f. When I come back to these lines of scripts in the future, probably I will wonder why both of these two coroutines I did call both of these coroutines in the past. However, since I added a penalty duration float above both of these coroutines, I will probably remember that these two coroutines are connected each other and needed to work with each other, and this is like a command for me for the future, and this order of the lines will be better. So let's continue where if the heat meter slider equals to 1, penalty should be applied. That's also gone. If nutrients are grabbed, slider value of the heat meter should be updated. It's also finished. And speed of the player should be boosted. Boost. I forgot the boost. I forgot about the boost. How long should the boost player speed? Boost player speed. Speed. Public. Okay, let's generate a method for boost speed public. Void boost player speed. Boost multiplier. Let's set my current speed to max speeds with my. Okay, what happened? Boost player speeds. Let's just call this with the enumerator as a coroutine, because boosting player speed will have a duration for the player, and we need to have a duration because I just do not want the player to be able to go and grab another nutrient and another nutrient without any duration, because this will result in really high speeds for the player, and I wanted to limit the boost period for the player. So let's do it with a duration, boost player speed with duration, and keep an eye on the player with his player already boosted, which will be false in the beginning, at the beginning. If player already boosted, return, not return. How did we kill the yield break, or how did we kill this penalty duration, the coroutines? Let's continue with yields break. This needs to kill the coroutine in here. If player is already boosted, let's yield break float duration. Otherwise, let's boost the player and see that player boosted, boosted, boost multiplier, set this public, and after the duration finishes, let's revert the maximum speed back to normal. Also set the is already boosted true in here and is already boosted to false in here, since the boosting period is finalized. So let's try this thing, this script, this method that I added. And also I needed to call this IEnumerator from the carry card trace when the player gathers a nutrient. So where is my player? Start coroutine, but this coroutine boost player with speed duration, and my duration will be maybe 2 seconds, and boost multiplier with 2. And let's just get this debug log over here to see if this is working in real time. Actually, I do not feel any effect of this player boosted. It says player boosted. Oh, the duration seems really slow. Or maybe the clamping. I have a clamp in here. Let's just set the max speed. Let's just boost the maximum speed of the. Yes, the boost is working. However, I hit faster and slower, faster and slower, faster and slower. Maybe I can add some practical effects over the player, because the player does not feel faster. Okay, I hit that guy. Follow him. Faster. No. Let's just triple the values, triple down the values. Oh, to tripling the values really has chance, really creates an effect I wanted. 0.84. Why do you stuck in 0.84? Because of this amount. If the value is equals to 0 and return. 0 string. Yes, this is better. Okay, let's continue from here. Nutrients are grabbed, slider value of the heat meter should be updated. Yes, it's already updated right now, and the speed of the player should be boosted also. This is also finished. Positive level end after 3 laps should be implemented for both the opponent and the player. Right now, player or the opponent does not have level ends condition, either positive or negative. So let's continue from here in tomorrow, because I'm lack of time right now and I need to leave for the work for today. And today I managed to do something. I managed to implement some methods into my game, and which is the good thing for me, because I wanted to take little steps till releasing this game, and I wanted to add small things one on another, because since I do not have too much time for investing in here in order to invest in this game development. And since I have a daily job, this is good for me, and I hope to see you tomorrow morning. So thanks a lot for today.